What's going on, everybody? My name is MT, and guess what, mother freakers? The big missing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 Easter egg is Ego the Living Planet. That's right, everybody. Ego the Living Planet is in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Literally right in front of our faces. Like right here, to be more specific. But MT, how can that burning planet be Ego? Ego the Living Planet is purple and has a face. Wow! Excellent question, MT, and there is a reasonable explanation for that. And that reasonable explanation being that is not Ego the Living Planet. Yet. And yes, I know that sounds confusing, but it kind of helps if you view this burning planet less like Ego the Living Planet and more like Prego the Living Planet. Did I go out and buy a jar of tomato sauce specifically to make this stupid ass joke? Absolutely. Because you see, in the comics, before Ego the Living Planet was a living planet, he wasn't a planet at all. He was just your average, strange-looking alien man with a big-ass head and a weird-ass name. You see, way back in the day, this dude named Egros was the smartest scientist nerd man from this regular-ass planet that Marvel never really bothered to name for some reason. So, I'm just gonna call it Prego from now on in honor of the $1.98 that was sacrificed to make this terrible joke. I'm really sorry. I don't have many friends. But anyways, Prego was this nice little planet that Egros lived on with millions of his other big-headed alien brethren who, when we first meet them, are all freaking the fuck out because their sun is about to explosion, which is, in my professional opinion, a pretty damn good reason to freak out, considering that having the skin melt off of everybody's bones isn't exactly the best thing for the local dermatology industry. But hey, you know, at least no one will be alive to see your tan lines, which is pretty great. But anyways, since these dumbass pregons decided that flying around on Pepto-Bismol-ass mattresses was a lot cooler than learning how to build actual spaceships and stuff, these mother freakers were absolutely 110% doomed to burn alive like the stupid dumbass toaster strudels they were. That was until Egros, the smartest of all of the pregons, was like, hold up, y'all. I'm not a toaster strudel. You're not a toaster strudel. We don't have to die like toaster strudel. I have a plan. Does this plan involve building a spaceship? Well, you better shut your ass up. And so, Egros and Prego's most educated scientists started Project World Core, which is just a fancy way of saying, hey, let's just build a hole to the center of the planet and hide in it and wait for all of this to blow over, because a planet is the greatest sun umbrella of all. Yay, science. And that's exactly what they did. They shoved the majority of Prego's population, like 95% of Prego, into the planet and placed them all into suspended animation until after the world stopped burning so they could rebuild civilization and stuff. But before Egros and a couple of his scientist buddies could make their way down to the center of the planet, the sun freaking exploded way earlier than it was supposed to, which is something I'm sure your girlfriend knows all about. That was gross, I'm sorry. And before Egros could make his way down the tube to the center of the planet, the blast of radiation from the sun completely overtook and destroyed the surface of the planet. Like, Prego was done. And since Egros was the Pregon who was closest to the surface of the planet during the solar detonation, you would think that Egros would have been the first of the Pregons to become a burnt chicken nugget. But nay, I say, this is comic books, and none of this shit makes sense. And so, instead of dying, Egros' soul fused with the planet as well as the souls of the 2 billion Pregons inside the planet and became Ego the Living Planet. That all being said, this scene in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 is supposed to mirror the splash pages of Thor issue 228, which showcases the death of the planet Prego and the birth of the living planet of Ego. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, this is the big missing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 Easter egg. That's it. Like, you could literally stop watching this video right now if you really wanted to, but wait! There's more. Why do I do weird shit? Why? Like, a shit ton more, actually. And I'm not actually sure how I'm going to explain all of this without having a brain aneurysm, but here goes nothing. Because guess what, everybody? This planet over here is Ego, and this planet in the corner over here is Morag, the planet where Star-Lord found the Power Stone in the first place. Because fun fact, I think, the planet Morag is actually in the Marvel Comics, because Morag is Prego's neighbor, as we can see right here. There's Morag, and there's Morag's little moon buddy, Lil Morag. He has a mixtape coming out soon, apparently. Why do I keep naming these planets? We all know that Morag was abandoned a long-ass time ago due to a global warming event that completely wrecked the surface of the planet, causing it to flood and essentially become a water planet. Wait, did everybody know that, or is that just me? It sounds like just me, because I'm a friggin' loser. But even though James Gunn did reveal this information, he never really elaborated on whether or not this global warming event was canonically significant. But it turns out it is. Because this global warming event was actually the same nova that ended up destroying Prego and creating Ego. But instead of being completely destroyed, the surface and atmosphere of Morag just became completely unlivable to the point where the people had to abandon their planet and go somewhere else. But not before leaving the Power Stone behind in a sealed orb within a sealed light barrier in a sealed underwater chamber that is covered in these strange panels with the cosmic entities of eternity, infinity, entropy, and death on them. However, the question is, why? Like, why is Peter having this vision of Morag and Prego being destroyed by this stellar nova as soon as he grabs the Power Stone? Like, what is so goddamn significant about this orb that causes Star-Lord to trip the fuck out and see this specific imagery? And the answer to those questions is, the Power Stone is a star. Well, it used to be a star anyway, or at the very least, came from a star. One of these two stars, to be exact. Oh yeah, by the way, there are two stars in this image, in case you didn't already know. One big one, and one teeny tiny little one, right here. These are known as eclipsing binary stars. And well, wouldn't you know it, Morag's coordinates actually lead to an actual eclipsing binary star system in real life. For realsies. Wow, what a coincidence. Not a coincidence, bitch. Shit's getting real. I told you I was gonna find this shit. And the main reason why I believe the Power Stone is some type of remnant from one of these two stars is because the orb itself is modeled after a star, probably this smaller, darker star right here. And if this orb is indeed modeled after a star, then it would seem to me that James Gunn is implying that the Power Stone is the core of a star, or possibly even a star that has had its power impossibly condensed into the size of a pebble, kind of like a neutron star a little bit. Whatever, doesn't matter. The point is, the orb is a star, and the Power Stone itself probably came from one of these stars in some way, which is probably what this trail coming from the stars could actually end up being. But anyways, speaking of Morag and the orb, let's talk about this room right here real quick. Because what if I told you that Ego the Living Planet isn't just referenced once in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, but twice? Once. How would that make you feel? How would you feel about it? Because check this out, guys. The panels on the walls of this room are telling us a story. I mean, we all know that it shows us a glimpse of these four cosmic entities interacting with the Infinity Stones at the beginning of the MCU. But for the most part, this is all nonsense. Okay, maybe not nonsense, but we all don't really know the full scope of what the hell's going on here because it's all just freaking hieroglyphic ass shit. Like, what the hell is all this? I don't know. But what if I told you that this circle surrounding the Infinity Stones in the center of this panel was a star? And what if I also told you that that star was the very same star that messed up Morag and destroyed Prego? What? What? Yep, this image right here tells the story of the stellar explosion that heated up these two previously inhabited planets. And since this star contains all of the Infinity Stones in this image, I'm assuming that this star is most likely the most direct stellar byproduct of the Big Bang. But that's just a complete guess that you guys can feel free to ignore, but don't ignore it because ignoring people is rude. Don't be rude. I'm right here. Don't be that guy. But another part of this panel that I think is really interesting and significant in regards to this star theory is this corner over here with Death, mainly Death's hand. Because to me anyway, the hand of Death in this image could be interpreted in one of two ways. I mean, potentially even both even, but Who knows? I don't know anything, so it's fine. The first way being that Death's hand could represent the smaller star in Morag's eclipsing binary star system, like a smaller star orbiting a larger star. And since Death's glowing hand is directly across from the imagery of the destruction of both Prigo and Morag, it seems to me anyway, that Death could have played a very significant role in this very deadly event, potentially. And the second way you can interpret this image of Death is as Death utilizing the Reality Stone, aka the Ether from Thor the Dark World. Because not only is Death's hand hovering over the Reality Stone in this panel, but we also see a very similar type of imagery in Thor 2 when Onan shows us the Dark Elves wanting to use the Ether to essentially destroy all the stars and light in the universe. But regardless of how you choose to view this, both of these perspectives have to do with Death interacting with a star or a source of light in some way. But anyways, I feel like I have a lot more to say about this panel on Morag, but for the sake of time, that's all you really need to know about this panel in regards to my observations about Ego. And I think that's pretty much it for everything else too. I think this is the end of the video. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting like a zillion things? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this earlier, but speaking of Ego and exploding suns or whatever, all the lights in Ego's mansion are all exploding suns. Wow, amazing. It's almost like I'm not crazy. Almost. And also, this shot of Peter's disintegrated face could be a nice little nod to this depiction of the creation of Ego the Living Planet in The Astonishing Thor #3. Also, by the way, this is the Stranger, and he's the person that is responsible for the explosion of Morag's and Prigo's son in the first place. Because he's kind of an asshole. He's a really big asshole. And essentially, he is the father of Ego. The more you know, I guess. And also, I strongly believe that the entirety of Star-Lord's star vision could actually be taking place within the Hand of God Nebula, which is a real nebula that actually exists in real life and was foreshadowed earlier in the movie with this shot right here. Like, guys, the Hand of God is literally one of the coolest cosmic things out there because the nebula literally looks like a blue hand reaching out into space, which is exactly what this whole sequence is all about. A lot of hand-holding and stuff. With Peter's mom and Gamora on the blue side reaching out to Peter, who is standing on the more orange side of the frame, just like the nebula, but that's just a wild guess based on my own thematic understanding of the movie, so wow, I just sound like the biggest, snobbiest movie snob ever.
Like, wow, that was my analysis of the thematic understandings of the movie.
And my final observation about this whole thing, to wrap this all up, is that if the Power Stone is indeed the very same star that created both Ego and Peter, then the whole Star-Lord title would literally be a little bit more fitting and make a lot more sense. He would literally be the Star-Lord and is one of the only people in the universe that can wield this Power Stone, which is a piece of star stuff. But anyways, that's it. Sorry this was so damn long. I just had a lot to say and I realized a lot of things. But if you could tweet this video at James Gunn on Twitter, that would be so dope and would help me out so much. But obviously, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. But regardless of what you guys decide to do with your lives, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it! Or just leave a thumbs up or share this video. That also makes me happy on the inside. It takes a lot to make me happy on the inside. I'm dead, basically, all up in here. Just rotting inner flesh. Like, my kidneys just shriveled, filled with darkness and despair. Also, obviously, my emotions. And after you do that thing, hit that ding so you can get upload notifications whenever I upload a video. It's really convenient. Technology's great. My name is MT, and my 1-year egg anniversary was the other day, on the 17th. Wow, I literally cannot believe it's already been a year. Time flies when you're having suffering. Freaking exploded way earlier than it was supposed to, which is something I'm sure your girlfriend knows all about. That was gross, I'm sorry. Could have played a very significant role in this very deadly event, potentially. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is gonna be the worst. That was gross and mean. That was really gross and mean. I'm sure you don't have, like, you know, premature ejaculation problems. Remember Thor the Dark World? Me neither. You know, in hindsight, they probably should have saved the whole Dark World tagline thing for Black Panther, because that would fit a lot better. That was mildly racist, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take the chance that I'm going to kill them with it. I didn't mean to make any assumptions about your penis. I'm sure your penis is, like, great, fantastic. Your penis has the durability of a strong lion. Oh my god, friggin' branches fell in my backyard, dude. I'm sure your penis is ready to hold out, fight the good fight. I don't know, I gotta stop.